Damien is a young A-grade electrician with the world at his feet. Or at least he did have. Now he can thank his lucky stars he's still alive. Damien sustained terrible injuries in just a couple of seconds, thanks to the slip of a screwdriver when working live on a switchboard. He's living proof, but only just, of what can go horribly wrong when working live. Because he's a young man, his recovery is going well, but it could be years before all his injuries heal.
Damien, what were you doing at the time of the incident?
Just normal day at work, busy day, last week of work, trying to get the job finished and just tried to put a circuit breaker in live. I've been to hell and back all because of a silly and costly mistake.
Why were you working live?
There's no reason really, just pressure from the builders, the developer, everyone wanted the job finished that week. I was a bit under pressure and just tried to get it done for them.
Should you have been working live?
Oh, we all know we shouldn't work live.
Can you remember the first few moments after the switchboard exploded?
Pretty much remember the whole explosion and pretty much everything there on after. And I remember basically the explosion was so loud I couldn't... Basically I thought I was deaf. I thought I was blind. It was probably 5 or so minutes before I realised that I could actually hear. And in those moments I was pretty much on my own waiting for someone to come in. And to be honest, that whole time I thought I was dead.
Did your life flash before your eyes?
It's real weird, it's just... I don't know if it's because of the shock, but I was just sort of lying there, everything was just real quiet. I couldn't really hear anything apart from just a ringing in my ears. And then the next thing I heard was one of my colleagues come in and just heard him pretty much say, come into the room I was in, paused and said, oh shit, and then ran out, and then I just heard him calling for someone to call an ambulance.
Did you feel the burns? Did you feel the heat on your body?
During the actual explosion, I could sort of feel things hitting me, but I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew it was real bright and loud. That was my two main memories of it, just how bright it was. Even with my hands over my face, all I could sort of imagine and picture was just a bright light coming into my eyes, getting brighter and brighter and brighter. And that probably lasted for about 3 or 4 seconds.
Did you feel the burnt clothes on you?
I could feel the vest stuck to my neck, and that was about it. Other than that, I felt nothing. I honestly, after the initial explosion and sort of shock, once I sort of realised what had happened, other than the stinging on my neck and my hands and my face, I felt pretty good. I felt like, I felt fine. I felt like I could go back to work.
So your colleagues went off to get help?
Once the help came in and I could sort of hear all the shock and the panic in their voices, and the fact that they were telling me not to move, just stay still as I can, ambulance will be here soon, I started to realise, something pretty bad had happened. And probably after about 10 minutes of being on the ground, I could feel all my skin tightening up, and every slight movement would feel like basically my skin was being peeled off.
What was happening while you were waiting for the ambulance?
I was starting to panic. I wanted to know what I looked like. I wanted to know if I should open my eyes because they got basically glued together from my skin and eyelashes melting together. And by now a bit of pain was starting to kick in. I was starting to freak out. No one would tell me what I looked like. They just kept saying, you look fine. And then, I basically was sort of shouting at them, telling me what I looked like, and no one would. And now I was still really starting to... Basically, by this time, I was starting to think how I'm going to cope looking burned. I knew by this stage what had happened.
How did you get to the ambulance?
I couldn't open my eyes, so I had someone under sort of each arm, but they weren't really helping me. They were just sort of guiding me. And I've sort of realised later on that they couldn't touch me because if they did, all my skin, they had to basically save what skin I had left on my arms and legs and whatever. And by this stage, before I got in the ambulance, they'd cut my shirt off as well, just to stop any more irritation to the skin that I had left on me.
You were then admitted to the Alfred Hospital?
And then someone just came in, grabbed me my eyelids, peeled them open. And that was really the first moment I knew my eyes were all right. And they were real sensitive. I couldn't really struggle to keep them open. And I just remember the mask coming in, and that's it for basically a week.
How did you react when your girlfriend, family and friends came to see you?
Basically, yeah, whenever my family came in, that was when I really started to notice what had happened. Like, in ICU, I still didn't feel a whole lot of pain yet, but that was just because of being so heavily drugged up. And then I could see my family and my girlfriend come into the hospital, and just the look on their face, I knew something was seriously wrong. I could just tell, and I knew that, you know, it was going to be a fair job to get out of it.
Your family members were told not to show emotion when they visited you.
Because the burns are like, it's a visual thing, you know, it's like a body image sort of changing effect, and to have a less effect on my mind, they were told don't show any emotion that would sort of affect badly on me, that could sort of send me into a panic about, you know, how I'm going to look after I get out of here.
When you were transferred to the Epworth Hospital for rehabilitation, how did that go?
It's the worst. You can't explain the pain that you go through. When your fingers and stuff are basically melted into positions that they're not supposed to be, the physios come along and they bend them to how they should bend, and it doesn't feel good. You can't explain the pain that you go through with that.
That was every day?
Twice a day it was. Once in the morning, then once in the afternoon. Basically, you needed the break in the middle to recover.